So we've started with a £1,000 budget and we're going to trade our way all the way up to a Sierra RS Cosworth. We've bought this iGo for £300 and this is what we've done to it.
Right, so just been to the local motor factors, picked up a few bits. We've got a headlight bulb, oil filter, air filter, and then the cabin filter as well. They can all be fitted.
So as you've seen, Jack has done the haul and we've spent £142.15 on everything that we need to service it. So I'm going to go ahead, change the bulb now because it's the easy job. This was the first time that I've ever changed a bulb and I thought I got it right, bang on, first time. So I turned the windscreen wipers instead of the headlights, and still to this day, I do not know why I did that. At this moment I thought, could it get any worse? Yeah, it could. So I had not put in the bulb correctly, so I had to do it all over again. So second time round, I actually used my brain and I put the bulb in the right way. I then secured the bulb in place with the retaining clip on. It was quite easy, you just pushed it in and pushed it to the left. I then put the O-ring on just to ensure that there's no water moisture getting into the headlight, and then plugged it in. And just like that, after 2 tries, the first job was complete.
So we're going to crack on with the service. Most important part of the service, to make it nice and quick. Take your oil cap off and then just slightly pull the dipstick. Otherwise, what you're doing is when you're letting the oil flow downwards without creating a passageway for air at the top, it's creating almost like a vacuum and it takes forever to come out. Whereas when you open up the cap and pull the dipstick, it lets it flow a lot more freely. So I've got a makeshift oil tray to catch all of the waste oil in. So I'll go underneath with me and we'll go underneath in a second. I'll show you how to take the sump plug off, the oil filter off.
So after a couple of twists, the sump plug came off so we could start draining the oil. We did realise that it didn't have a crush washer on it, which means it's more likely to leak oil out of the actual sump. So once all the oil drained out, we then got started on the oil filter. Jack actually left his oil filter pliers at work, so we had to do it the old-fashioned way with a screwdriver and force it off that way. This doesn't actually affect the oil filter because we're changing it anyway, so we'll just put a new one on there. It's just an easy way of getting it off without the oil filter pliers. And it did.
And it did.
All over me. Thanks, Jack.
Sorry, love. So it's a new crush washer that goes on your sump plug. So that means that when you put your plug and your bolt, whatever you want to call it, into your sump, that crushes and it creates a nice seal. That means that no oil, hopefully, is going to spill out onto my floor.
So after getting the crusher on the sump plug, we tightened it all the way up until the crusher crushed against the actual sump. That's when we knew it was tight enough, ensuring that we don't have any oil leaks.
Onto the oil filter housing. We're going to tighten that up, and we're not going to do what the previous owner did, and we're just going to do it hand tight. Doesn't need to be mega tight, don't need to use any tools to put them back on. As long as it's threaded on, hand tight, you should be absolutely fine. So under there you can see capacities. We've got 3.6 litres on a dry fill, 3.1 litres on a service fill, which is what we're going to be doing, and the filter takes 100 millilitres. Let's get that done.
So what we're going to do is fill it all the way just below the 2 mark. Let's see if my pouring game, I'm going to fill it into here. So whilst you watch me pour oil everywhere but the place it needs to be, please make sure you like and subscribe, it means a lot to us. Right, so we've got it just under the 2 mark there, because we spilled a bit on Jack's floor, which he is mad about. So now we're going to change the air filter. In order to take the air filter cover off, you've got to undo the 3 metal clips that are holding it in place. Once undone, the air filter cover should just pop off, and then you replace the air filter. But in this case, it didn't even have an air filter, so we just put a new one in. We then put the cover back on and clipped it back into place, and that's how you change an air filter.
Air filter's been done, oil's now in, oil filter and a new sump plug seal has been put in, so hopefully no leaks. We're going to turn the car on just to double check. Whilst the car's running, going to look underneath, make sure there's no leaks. As long as there's no leaks, it can come off the jack stands and we can double check that oil level at the end. So let's hope she runs. Battery's a little bit weak, but we can always look at replacing it or putting it on a health charge thing, cycle, whatever they want to call it. So we're going to go underneath, we're going to double check that everything's bone dry, no leaks from the oil filter housing or from the sump plug, because they're the things I've touched. If there is, then we'll blame Daniel. So double check the oil filter, and it's bad news. for Daniel because he can't pour oil into an engine. So he's poured the oil in and it's just dripped straight down the back of here. You can see where it's still a little bit wet there. And I don't know if you can see it properly, but directly down there where I'm pointing is the top of the oil filter housing. So he's made a bit of a mess, but it's okay. We forgive him, we never forget. So what we're going to do is, now that it's off the jacks and the jack stands, we're going to check the oil level. We were going to replace the cabin filter, but I have been missold. This car does not have a cabin filter, just like my MX-5. Seems to be only the aircon models that come with one. So what we're going to do is we've taken the dipstick out, we'll give it a quick wipe, and then what I like to do is I like to count to 5 in my head. And as you can see there, the residue's just up to the maximum, so that's the perfect amount of oil that we need. There we go, that is the service all complete.
With the service being complete, I'm going to go ahead and take the bumper off. They had 3 bolts, not 4, because there was missing a bolt, so we undone the 3 bolts that was on the top of the bumper, and there was only 1 plastic clip holding the right side of the bumper in, and 2 bolts that was holding the bottom of the bumper to the under tray. With them 2 bolts being removed, there was only 1 left that was at the bottom left side of the bumper.
Yeah. And that's now bumper off the iGo, ready for Dan to dismantle and paint tomorrow.
Right, so I've just been to Alfred's, got some lacquer, 2 bottles of that, 2 bottles of gloss spray paint, and some sandpaper, but Jack already had sandpaper, so we didn't need to pay for that. So we saved a little bit on that. It did cost me £41.76. So I'll add how much we've spent in total here up to now, and then I'll add how much we've got left. Sanding, and I'm going to cover up the grills instead of taking them off. Makes my job a lot easier. With the last bit being sanded down, I'm going to now, it's all smooth, now I'm going to prep it to start painting. So let's get into it. Sand down the wing mirrors on both sides, left and right, so you can get them resprayed as well. Let's go. So one done, and then what we'll do is wipe it all off, masking tape round there as well. In the meantime, the bumper is dried for its first coat, so I'm going to go ahead and put the second coat on. I've sanded the other wing mirror as well, but so yeah, I'll show you the full process for this. Now it is time for the second coat, but I have learnt my lesson this time. On the top half I realised that I sprayed it way too close, so I'm just going to take a little bit of a step back with it. So for the spray time, my job there. First ever time doing a wing mirror, so I've never done any of this before. So if I'm doing anything wrong, or you can give me some tips, but that one's done. Right, we are back with the third coat. Luckily it's a decent day today, so it's quite warm. I'll give it one more coat. Third coat's done on the bumper. We're going to do the second coat on the wing mirror now. But it's time to put the lacquer on. So, and that is the bumper done. We just wait for it to dry now. So I'm going to do the third and final coat now on the wing mirrors while I'm waiting for the lacquer to dry on the bumper, and then I'll lacquer both the wing mirrors when the paint's dry on. So it's had 3 coats, and now I'm going to put the lacquer on it to bruise it up and make it look a little bit shinier and try and match the car the best that we can. Obviously we know that we can't match it exactly how it is because, well, this paint's had 20 years to oxidise, whereas this hasn't, so it's always going to be a little bit of a different colour. And now for the satisfying part. And that is the bumper done and dusted. The primer is now done on the wind mirrors as well, so I'm going to take the tape off and get the bumper back on. So yeah, time to put the bumper back on.
Here with the Igo, and it's a bit of a mess, and like previously mentioned, it's a bit moldy inside. It's not exactly the nicest thing to be in. So what we're going to do is we're going to spray some mold killer on it first, let that dwell just whilst we get the wet back out, and then we're going to be able to wet back the seats, the carpets if necessary, get rid of all that dirt grime, and especially the mold, so I'm not breathing in that stuff.
We'll give it a tour. So we've wet vac everything up to now. The back seats are done, wet vac, just wait for them to dry. Seat belts have been cleaned, and then obviously all that will be getting done when we wash the outside of the car. So we've filled up windscreen washer fluid. Let's go.
Right, so very quickly I'm going to do a brief pre-MOT just to make sure that all of the lights are working and stuff. So I've got my glamorous assistant at the front to tell me if both of the side lights are on, to tell me if both of the dip beams are on, and to tell me if both of the high beams work as well. Absolutely perfect. So I'm going to use my glamorous assistant to tell me if the hazards are working on both sides as well. So coming around to the back, going to ask my glamorous assistant to please press the brakes. Great start. Oh, for fuck's sake.